Hey, good morning everyone. So it's been a minute since I made a longer video. So I wanted to just talk about this last week and kind of more how I feel, especially after I work on a Saturday, because these Saturday shifts are really tiring. I slept really hard last night, but I am absolutely exhausted. Because I'm often so tired, it makes so that everything else isn't really happening as much. Not only do I not really want to make content because of what's going on with my meditation stuff and non-duality, but because of how I'm feeling just overall, I'm not wanting to make content because I'm so tired. You know how I talk about spoons and battery, and there's so many different analogies that you can use to describe what it's like living with limited energy. But ultimately, because of that limited energy, I can only go so far with what I'm doing, right? I'm just gonna get up here for a second. I'm actually just outside. It's so nice out. I finished my meditation about probably 10 minutes ago. Fed the cat. Say hi, Kilo. Now I'm just outside enjoying some nice weather. It's actually beautiful out here. It's not really all that sunny, but that's okay. It's like a perfect temperature. Maybe I'll just do a pano right now, and then I can do another one later. We're almost ready to actually start harvesting some lettuce, so that's great. I just realized something. There was a big weed in there. Garden's actually not too bad, but it looks like the peas are almost dying because they're falling over. So yeah, that's not great, but I wonder if they're getting kind of cooked too. So that tends to happen. But yeah, that's kind of how the garden's doing. But I don't have much energy today just because I'm freshly off one of those shifts again. So it's not great. Let's just put it that way. I hate the feeling of not being able to do anything, but I hate the frustration of just, you know, wanting to do all of this other stuff and then not being able to do it. So like, I have to also kind of give myself a little bit of leeway when it comes to this, because although I feel like I can do everything I want, unless I really space things out, I just can't. It's not really all of that possible, basically. So I can do a bunch of things, but I end up paying for it a little later on. I think that's kind of the most important thing to emphasize. So like, I may be able to do so many different things in a row now, and sometimes it comes with the fatigue and the exhaustion that comes afterwards, but sometimes it doesn't. I don't always pay like I used to before, at least right then. It does eventually add up though, and it results in you needing to take a complete day off. I know that particularly with me, I'm not only because of having underlying medical conditions needing to rest, but I've never been able to work and work and work without a break anyways. So that's something that just hasn't changed. I'm actually just getting ready to have my breakfast. So this is what I eat for breakfast, just a granola bar and banana. I usually don't eat all that much. I just don't find I need a whole ton at breakfast. I'm usually actually not very hungry. When I was actually on retreat, I probably ate the most at breakfast. And I would have like oatmeal and some stuff like that. But like, it really wasn't a lot even then. Like the oatmeal would be almost enough to keep me going. I love the oatmeal that they had there. I'm excited actually to be able to have it again. I wish I knew what brand it was, because although I'm not a big fan of like hot breakfast besides bacon and eggs, which I actually have more at like supper time or like dinner time because it's a fast meal. Coming out here after my meditation, just feels even more natural, if that makes any sense. I don't really want to talk about my meditation stuff right now, but it just feels so much more relaxing. I just feel like I'm so much more in presence actually when I'm just been meditating and come outside into nature. It just feels right. Those Saturday shifts, I don't know what it is about them. I think it's because during the week when I work my 9 to 6, like I get a break every 2 hours, which, like I said, the breaks are critical in order for me to work, because I just completely relax and like really, the breaks are a real rest for me. And even actually my lunch breaks are too, because although I do come home, there's not usually much of any cooking because I have leftovers, so I'm usually done eating 20 minutes or so. Because I'm so close to where I work, I get home in about like 3 minutes. And I know people are like mind boggled when they actually see how close I am, but I don't show that publicly because it's a bit of a privacy thing. So those of you who are my friends know how close I am. But yeah, it's really nice though, because there's no rushing, and I usually have a solid half an hour of just relaxation during my lunch breaks. And actually, when I used to be on cash, there was a time when I would actually get a lunch break sort of at 2 o'clock, and most of that was just relaxing. And I usually would have a snack just so I can make it till the end of the day, but I wasn't a fan of the shift because I had to eat before work, but at like 10 o'clock, and it messed up meals so badly. But it was nice for that relaxation period, which now I sort of get anyways, because being that another important factor too though is that it's summer, so like there's no ice to deal with, there's no snow. Come the winter, it is a little bit longer of a commute. It can take up to, well, if you say commute, it can take about 5-7 minutes if it's really, really nasty walking conditions. But in the summer there's no change, and I also have to change my shoes in the winter because the snow is too deep for my runners. So yeah, there's that too. I was really, really sore on Thursday and Friday, so it wasn't like an achiness all over my body like sometimes it is. It was just a soreness in the back of my legs, and it was from up and down weeding actually the other day. So that wasn't all that fun, but I almost always pay sometimes physically for the things that I choose to do on my days off. I was actually wanting to go for a walk this morning, like out to the trails, but I have decided that I just need a rest. So the nice thing is that next week, because of the long weekend, the Canada Day is on Saturday this year. So because of that, I get an extra day off next week. Unfortunately, it's not in a row, but it is an extra day off. So that will help a little bit with the rest issues. It's actually similar to when I work a Saturday, that kind of week. So be off from Tuesday afternoon until Thursday. So it's almost a full weekend again, which is nice. It just doesn't feel like it because of the way it works out. But again, just kind of go with the flow. Things are very much go with the flow now. There's planning, but I can't really plan anything anymore. Like I can't say, oh, I'm going to do a live show at exactly this time each and every week, because there's just sometimes that I just don't feel it. It just doesn't feel right. And I don't always have something to talk about, but I feel like maybe moving forward I might do like these kind of recaps and things that kind of stuck out. I will have to make notes in the moment in order to do this, but honestly there's not much that's happening. Like I'm working, I come home and I rest. It's pretty much the routine at this point. And like I said, although I can work, it's a matter of making sure I don't burn myself out in the process, which would be a different type of exhaustion, I think, with this one, because I absolutely do love my time when I'm at work. Like I'm enjoying what I do so much. People always talk about things like, money and all of that, but to me the material stuff doesn't really mean as much. To me what matters is the atmosphere I'm working in, the schedule that I have, and kind of those other things that I think people really don't often think about as being important, but it's actually probably some of the most important factors, not only with someone with underlying medical conditions, But just for overall happiness, the money isn't going to bring you the happiness in the end. It's not. It's going to be what kind of atmosphere you're in, how much you're enjoying where you work, and all of that kind of stuff. It's just really important to mention that. One thing I should mention regarding my migraines is that I'm now down to yearly visits with my neurologist. That was huge. I was so excited, actually. I was given some things to try too for when I actually have a migraine. I won't use them unless I absolutely have to. So they're like rescue medications. If it becomes to the point where I need to break a migraine, that's when I will use it. But other than that, my current medication is doing so well at preventing migraines that the rescue stuff is kind of nice to have, but it's not really something that's required, which is wonderful. The IIH seems to be still in remission. I won't know until I see my ophthalmologist in the end of July. I'm hoping that it still is. I feel like it still is. Like, I'm not really noticing any weird things with my vision or anything. I mean, when I get tired or dehydrated, I do get dizzy. Like yesterday, actually, I was starting to feel dizzy when I moved my head, and I just hadn't been drinking enough water. That's also really critical, actually, in the summertime with heat. Even like when it's perfectly nice outside, like what it is right now, the staying hydrated is really important. So that's something I actually need to work on a little bit better, is that hydration aspect. Feel free to share my content if it's something that you enjoy or find helpful. And I'm across all of social media with the shorts. These longer videos I'm probably going to keep to Facebook and YouTube, just because I get such a limited amount of space on locals, and I'm not doing any longer content on Instagram. I don't even know if they let you do longer than a certain amount of content anymore. So I won't be posting to Instagram, at least except for the shorts, but you guys can come and watch on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.